See, I'd argue with you about that.
We have.
I feel like slavery, to a certain extent, is a choice.
No, we're not talking modern slavery.
If you're talking about mental slavery.
No, I'm talking about slavery.
See, but you have to talk about mental slavery because we talk about that now from this vantage point. We don't know
what you're saying. When you try to criticize a nigga and say slavery, slavery was not a choice. Then who the fuck is Nat Turner, bro?
You
Who's Nat Turner? He made a choice.
Yeah, sure.
You talk about chattel slavery, right? You talking about the colonization or the kidnapping,
right,
of Africans, bringing them to a land which is foreign, and then I guess it's similar to, say, trafficking, human trafficking.
That's a fact.
Modern day human trafficking. Human trafficking is a choice. I can choose not to be human trafficked right now.
Right.
It's worse than that because it's one thing to be made a slave, right? That's where your choice comes in. If you know what it is to be free, and you're choosing to be a slave. If you were born thinking that this is the way it's supposed to be,
who is Nat Turner, bro?
An exception to the rule.
Why is he an exception to the rule and not what everybody could have been?
Because that would have been the rule.
Nah, you can't, because everybody's not tough or revolutionary.
You gonna take one dude.
You can't put. If
that was the case, we'd have a million Malcolm X's.
Right.
We'd have a million Martin Luther Kings.
But thank God that we do.
Those things.
Thank God that we do,
I'm not mad that we got a Nat Turner, but to sit there and shit on everybody else who was born into this, you make it sound like they knew.
We only got who's Harriet Tubman?
We only got one Nat Turner.
Hold on. Where in history have we recorded the slave that was cool with slavery? All of the people that we praise or look back in Black History Month, we look at the people who did not accept it, right?
There's recorded of those slaves.
So how is that saying that it wasn't a choice?
The house niggas was the niggas that was cool with slavery.
Nobody knows the name of anybody know the name of a famous house nigga?
We can't bring it up.
Nobody?
Why would anybody record that?
But this is what I'm saying.
That's because niggas didn't care about them.
Why would anybody record that?
No, house niggas had a choice either.
But this is what I'm saying, bro.
I mean, they had a choice when they started snitching and they started. But for everybody that for everybody that Harriet Tubman brought up, she had to shoot a couple of niggas who didn't want to go, right?
Yeah, word.
Those niggas
that wasn't a choice.
Let's consider this.
Those are the niggas that didn't have a choice.
They're not brave enough to be revolutionary.
And she plugged them.
Let's consider slavery is not just this physical thing, right? So now,
because it's not.
So now, when you talk about removing a person from what they're used to. Now I'm going to culture you or just groom you to believing into this thing. Like slavery is way more than you just being chained to something.
But that's not even grooming you. That's forcing you.
Right.
Into,
but here's where
it's a conditioning.
That's the word.
It's a conditioning that takes more than. Well, what you have these different.
But that's a tactic that they use. That's like a fucking what they call it shit. That's a tactic that they use to break you.
Of course, right. So you can't say, all right. So do the knowledge, right? Because if you say it's a choice, if there are people who have spent centuries breaking another type of people, right? Not raising their people up, but breaking these people. Like whatever we do, we good, but we're gonna break these people.
Right.
So we have to work, and not only are we enslaving the mentalities and the bodies and souls of these people, but we are preaching to these people that it's okay to do that. Right. So the slavery mentality has such a wicked duality that. Now we're not only just saying, all right, it's a color thing. Now it becomes like a class system. Now we can go deeper into slavery where you have blacks that have slaves. Right. Where you have when we go back into Egypt, you're like, all right, you talking about servitude and you talking about that type of place. Right. So now we talk about the choice was like, all right, we're gonna have a rebellion, where we have a bunch of rebellions and that nature, but slavery is a practice that has been preached.
But yet we glorify the people who made a choice.
Of course.
Right?
No, we
we do. Because there ain't no famous house niggas. There's no famous house niggas. There's nobody we say, yo, this nigga was recorded as one of the best house niggas ever. Like, nobody does that. Nobody does that. We praise the people who decided, like, yo, something ain't right here. I'm about to fight against this shit because I'm not feeling
Uncle Tom niggas that niggas be like, now you on your bullshit.
Uncle Tom.
You being an Uncle Tom, house nigga shit.
Right.
Uncle Tom is actually a real person.
Right. So when we breaking a nigga, you bucking them. That's what the slave word is used for. When you bucking
now
somebody.
the thing that always makes me think, what would make someone break out of this brainwashing? And there's one word. Love. If you have a love for your woman, you see the treatment, it affects you. You have a love for your child, you see the treatment, it affects you. Something gets turned where you're like, all right, you can whoop me. I was fine with it. But my kid, and I gotta stand here and watch it, that's gonna change something in you where you're gonna be like, nah, this ain't right. Something ain't right.
That's because as a man, you're
that'll change.
you're born a protector.
Right. You don't have kids yet.
No,
but one of the things that I realized is once I had my first son, I realized everything that I wanted for him, I really wanted for myself.
Or what you didn't have that you wanted to provide for him.
Right. So you feel like an empathy where you're like, nah, that gotta change. But then you looked at yourself and be like, damn, I wish it was changed for me.
That's tricky, man. That's tricky.
But
That's tricky.
I know what you're saying though, but it's like, even in fighting that type of oppression, you couldn't imagine the amount of slaves that felt that way and fought that way and still died for their family, but still died. It took 400 years, and we still in the mental part of slavery ain't even going nowhere to this fucking day. Niggas still believing in white Jesus and all that shit right now.
Right.
That's like the mental part of it is even worse than the physical. That shit is still lasting right now.
We make it
and you
sound
got
like
jail and some more shit right now.
We make it sound like dudes. We make it sound like people were taken from Africa, got here, turned into slaves, and decided to stay. We are looking over.
Niggas
by the time we get to the slaves that Kanye is talking about, the people who could have told you that anything was different been dead. Those guys been dead. Ripped apart by horses. Mothers were teaching children, stay in line. Don't cross that white man. Don't look him in the eye. Why? Because they remember what happened to their husbands.
Right.
The husbands who had dudes like you in your position who sit there and go, I got a son, I got a daughter, I got a wife. They can't get down no more like that. Slave masters saw him, chain him up between a couple of horses. This is what happens when you start thinking like that.
Well, you talking about like people was marching for equality. Like, all right, slavery aside, like in the United States of America, which as the gods say, peace to the gods on earth. When you talk about the wilderness of North America, right? Like, black people have been going, can we vote? White people have been going, no. Black people have been going, can we go to school? White people have been going, no. So slavery aside, right? Let's talk about this mentality that's going, yo, we want to make sure you do not get any of these assets that we have access to.
Right.
So in that part where we're talking about like, okay, after slavery, when we talk about Jim Crow, now we have these laws for grown men. Like we have like, green cards and for people who are, soldiers and places they can go and places they can go. And then you go to the industry where even, you're making $1 million and then you got to go through the back door. So slavery has not only affected people who have actually been there and the people who are like, directly should be
I'm
getting.
gonna put my foot here to hold you down because you're getting passionate and your chair. And be like, yeah.
See the high
Yeah.
I'm about to get up my
I see you getting passionate right now, so I'm gonna hold you down right here.
No, I'm good, but I'm saying it not only affects those ones that would directly, ancestors, direct ancestors of that, but then as it goes and it's like it's a systematic slavery. It's a systematic mentality where it's like, people expect you, a person of a darker hue or a different nationality. I mean, it's a time when the Irish was looked at as you know
the low,
the dregs
bottom
of society,
the bottom.
and and then as far as these people, it's like, okay, so we're all here, which Africans didn't do, which was like, let's stick together, So when you got cats in hip hop, and when you see, the community sticking together, it kind of it's automatically something that a germ would do. Germs stick together with germs, like we germinating,
right?
Like what I mean. So it's like it's already in our nature to survive. You know what I mean? But it's in some people's instilled nature, or maybe it's a conditioning of them going, yo, we have to make sure that germ does not live,
flourish.
Right. We got to kill that. Wherever that cockroaches, you still breathing?
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So I mean, it comes in like, when you say we hit words like technology or wizardry, and I'm not talking about magic. I'm talking about people like really trying to conjure up spells that go, yo, how come you guys keep winning? How come black people keep why are you so resilient?
Resilient, right.
So it's like, all right, well, when you go back in biblical times, right? You want to deal with that part. You talk about Moses and the Exodus, and like you're leaving from an oppressed place to create something, whatever this the land of milk and honey, whatever that's supposed to be, whatever that concept is. If it never existed, the concept alone is beautiful, right? Because you could go, speak esoteric, like slavery could just be one thought. Right, which we've seen that, which we experience that all the time. People are just in that thought. But we actually know people who have been hung. 60 years ago, bro. I'm talking about
which ain't that long ago.
Ain't that long ago.
We watched people like
this lynchings that still
Right.
That's a fact.
We watched that. We watched. We don't see that. We don't see that when it's a different hue. Right. You know what I mean? But we watch black people get killed in front of our eyes. We watch them on television. We see postcards of black people hanging. Like, they still got cases of young men hanging, like recently in this century, bro.
Bro, I'm gonna tell you something crazy.
In this year.
My man, he's from Alabama. He's our age. He's a little younger than us. He said when he was about 18, 19, his boss drove him into a neighborhood that black people don't go to. But he was like, it's payday, I gotta get my check, I'm robbing him. Mother like, you sure you wanna go there, baby? He's like, yeah, I'm with that boss, is good.
He trying.
And he brought him to a crib, and he sat there thinking he about to get his check. Nigga, they came in there and threw a noose on the couch. Like, you gonna die today, nigga? Word to my mother. I'm like, hold on, nigga, you my age. When the fuck was this shit? This is like 2000. I couldn't believe it.
So how did he make it out of there?
And they was doing tattoos. So they was like, you want to get a tattoo before you go? This how they talking to him. And he just trying to buy time. He's like, yeah, fuck it. He said, they gave him a piece of paper, said, draw your tattoo. We're gonna give it to you before we hang you. Word them up. They threw the noose on the couch.
And what, Alabama?
Yes, nigga. I was like, I'm listening to the story, I couldn't believe it.
So, but he obviously got out of there. He told you about it.
Yeah, he sat there, took mad long to draw. He was buying time. I took mad long to draw my tattoo. He said another nigga was getting tattooed first, like some white dude was getting tattooed. He said he drew his shit, took mad long. They put the tattoo on the nigga. He sat there, fuck, I'm gonna get the tattoo. He said put it on his chest. He sat there, and then I think somebody came in and said, oh, we can't hang him today. The sheriff's coming tomorrow. We can't do this shit today. You guys are wilding. And that's what saved him. He was like, oh, it's your lucky day. They let him leave.
What? Is he still free? A free man?
Is he still?
Like to this day?
Yeah.
Oh, he moved. Yeah, he came to New
He
York.
moved. Yeah, of course.
He left.
Bro.
Out of there.
Where did my mother?
He lives in Canada
Call
now.
the troops! We going back! You know what I'm saying?
never go back.
That
That
old friend
paycheck,
He said when you come out of that crib, just the block he had to walk down just to get out of that neighborhood is like, just to survive that block, that walk is like a nigga might come out with the shotgun and pluck you off. That walk was like, there's no side street, there's no fucking street lights.
That's nuts.
Son, this shit is crazy.
That's
so
nuts.
that's why you gotta look at that fear and all that type of shit. When you watch people die, think about it. Like, I'm the kind of man you are. Like, if I gotta protect my woman, protect my kids. But niggas like us, they're gonna make an example of and kill us in front of our women and kids.
Oh no.
So when you watch that, you're gonna be like, oh, they're gonna take the bravest and lynch them and kill them.
When you say they is not all powerful.
I agree.
My faith is in God.
But think about it, if you keep
You dig what I'm saying?
Mine too.
So should that day come?
But think about it.
It's not gonna be easy.
We had a different level
You know
of
what I'm
shit
saying?
though.
It's not
We
gonna
had-
be easy.
We had a different level of education.
They
Think
might
about it.
decide, yo, you know what? This nigga chew
different
on
times.
You
fingers.
talking about
He chews on fingers. We might
You
not
talking
want
about
to.
miseducation? You talking about miseducation? Nah, but think about it. You talking about miseducation and uneducated. That they keeping you in the dark. It's illegal to learn to read. How the fuck y'all gonna consort and figure out how to form
Again,
plans
that
away?
element
You know what I'm saying?
of
It took 400 years to figure that shit out.
That element of love, bro. Whatever sparked in the mind of Nat Turner, he saw something that was wrong. He said, nah, this don't make sense. You know what I mean? He saw something that didn't make sense, and he acted on it. Harriet Tubman saw something that didn't make sense, and she acted on it. We praise those people, but yet we'll go crazy on Kanye for saying slavery was a choice. But we praise the people who saw it as a choice.
Right. When Kanye says it, it's
But I don't really think.
I don't think that was.
I think
I
it's a
don't think
message.
it was. I don't really think it was a choice then. They was
Exactly.
just fighting against it to
But
stop
that was
it
the choice.
from being-
It's either like, yo, either
It was.
I'm not gonna do
they
this. You're
had
gonna have to kill me.
It was a.
You dig
That's,
what I'm
that's the
saying?
choice.
You're gonna
Live
have
or
to kill me.
die.
Right.
Be slave or be free and risk dying.
Right.
Can
Get
you-
free or die trying.
Can
Right?
you-
Think about how
That's
many
what it
years.
was.
Think about how many years it took to become Nat Turner.
Exactly,
How many years did that shit took to become
exactly.
Harriet Tubman?
Right.
It
Think
took
about when he
years
had
to
his
get to
seat
that
and
point.
nobody
Bruh.
didn't think that
The
was a
shit in your mental,
possibility.
Bruh.
you gotta plan and plot out.
Listen.
And seeing your brothers and sisters go through that
shout out to Haiti. They saw it.
all the time.
They said, nah.
How long did that take? How long did that
It
take?
doesn't matter how long
It
it
does
takes.
matter.
The choice was
does.
always there till somebody saw it.
Okay, all right.
We
all right.
can't argue
okay,
that.
Okay. So are we shitting on everybody who didn't?
We're
who
not
didn't-
shitting on
Let
them
me
because we
finish
know-
the sentence. Are we shitting on the people who decided not to die? Because
we're
that's
not
literally
shitting on nobody,
That's
I
what
don't
he
think.
did. That's what
When you
he
said
did.
they
That's my
decided
whole
not to
point.
die.
I can't rob Kanye.
Yeah.
When they
he said-
decided not to
when-
die. Now let me
When
ask
you
you a
say he,
question.
that's
Hold on. Now let me ask
he.
you. hold on,
You
let me
haven't
ask you a
answered
question.
it yet.
Let me ask you a question. You have children. You have a wife. Would you accept those conditions for your child and your woman?
Does it mean that they survive?
Yeah, it does. But they survive under the conditions
Does it
that
mean
they
that
get to
they-
be raped, that they get to be hung, they get to be lashed by a fucking whip for bullshit. That's the condition they live in.
Does it mean that they survive? Because another day might be the day when the thing ends. And if my goal is to keep them alive
Until
or
it
die, what are we doing here?
And it can't be just one of us.
That's
It has to be
gotta
more than
unify.
just one of us.
Right.
It took
There
that
was,
many years
there
to
was a
unify.
Scottie Pippen, a nigga that helped Nat Turner.
But understand, there was Nat Turner probably saw somebody
Right,
fight and say, yeah, you know what?
right.
He got the right idea.
And it was another that was like, yo, I'm gonna help you get out. If I don't make it,
Now imagine if
Then
you
you
never
gotta
saw
go.
anybody fight. Do you even know that there's a choice to be made?
And
Do you
again,
even know that that's a possibility?
I think we
Again,
missing.
that
I think we
love
missing
factor.
the most simplest thing is like everybody. You know, everybody follows the system, whether you would like to admit it or not. Everybody falls into a category, like you said. How long does it take to build a revolutionary?
Right.
Like if you have these people who are living in this village or these people who live in this community, like if you talk about the Jews, for example, and you say, all right, how come the Jews didn't fight? How come you took so many Jewish people and just put them on trains and they just sat on the train and went to the thing and was like, all right, now walk in here, and they were just gonna put you in the gas thing.
I'm talking Holocaust.
They probably
How
had
do
no
you do
idea.
that? So what we're talking about now is what goes on now, which is similar to, like, it's a system of people who are, and I guess, you know, we could talk about what Ye speaks about.
Right.
My thing is this, like, right, my version of that is like, I'm more like the spook who sat by the door. Like, I'm not telling you everything that I know,
Right.
right? And that's for us. That's behind curtain number
That's
3.
the art of war, though.
Right? And that type of information is going to be used so we can move forward.
Right.
That's what other ethnicities do, other communities do. When you get to this point where you're a billionaire, it's not for you to just knock over the tea and just be like, you know what, whatever, the queen is whatever. And whatever your gripe is, we get that. That's cool, that's point of freedom, but we know we still in the wilderness of North America. This is created by people who have, they're the laws, it was created by, these 7 men or these 12 men who agreed upon a thing. Right? Whoever told us this is the rules of chess or this is the rules of checkers, how do we know this is a different thing? Was because the pieces is like this and the other pieces are like this? Like we listening to this format. So in adhering to this format, we move with swiftness. Now, if you just snatch from your comfortability, you snatch from the womb and you just put into this place and it's like, kidnap from your natural ornament. And, it's like a weed plant. Now you a hybrid, right? You don't even know what's going on. So you're probably thinking that this is natural.
That's the normal.
Like, now you're going, all right, so now we're going, right, Christianity, yeah, well, God said, yeah, so yeah, I'm supposed to do this thing.
Be slaves.
And now we're going, okay, so I'll get with it. And then you have these stories of these individuals where you say, who's the good Negro that's in the crib is going, yo, man, nah, this is what we're supposed to be doing because everything is good. We eat in everything. So the slavery goes deep into the soul and the spirit of an individual, and it's not only black people who have been slaves. So that's a whole nother different bill. So it's like now you're talking about being able
the best
to
PNC in the world. I tell you, boy,
being able to be control the actions of another individual through whatever system that you put in place, which is just for lack of a better term, it's magnificent. It's genius.
Right.
So the bottom line is we just gotta pray for our brother.
Yeah.
That's it.
And I agree with that.
Yeah.
And I want to say, I don't agree with anyone making
Anti-Semitic,
Anti-Semitic?
Anti-Semitic.
anything against anybody.
Yeah, anybody.
Or anti-black or
I choked
anti-
the dude talking about Drew High one day. They was like, yo, why you with this Jewish guy? I'm like, yo, what you talking about? That's my PNC. Nah, I'm just saying, why you couldn't fucking get a black manager? I don't know.
Right.
Buckshot is, they together. So. but what difference does it make? Like,
Right.
why
This
do
is what
you
I'm
even?
saying.
Why does that bother you?
But
Like-
I would think that if any culture should have any type of empathy or understand blacks or black culture, it would be the Jews.
Okay, but you talk about Haiti, right? You said big up Haiti, right?
Right.
Now, what's interesting is like Haiti, they came up with this rebellion, you know what I mean? Toussaint was out there, he was like slashing throats and all of that.
Right.
But it's like, okay, like the homie says, like, all right, how long does it take? How many lashes do you get before he was like, yo, we not doing that no more? You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, it's going all around the nations, like Spain is doing it, like Portugal, it's like Britain is doing it, and it's like, it's popular. And it's like, it's almost to the point where people are going, hey, we need to catch slaves for the white man so we can be included. We need to get this thing going.
They get paid for shit.
But that's what it boils down to. Then now we talking about the dollar.
Yeah, you get paid for this shit and get a little bit of power in your little community.
But understand,
for being a
slavery wasn't
trigger.
always like that. Slavery, there used to be a contract between two people.
It was a business, yeah. Niggas was for sale.
No, that's
indentured servitude.
No, but it's written in the same Bible that everybody reads from as a slave.
Yeah, but we're not that. But
And there were rules on how you could treat this person.
As we in hip hop
You know what I mean?
words change. We change words all the time. Like we change the terms all the time. And the terms we're talking about are not those terms.
It's history adjusts according to the people that live on that
It's
land.
always different times.
Right? So, we don't live like Moses times. We're not walking around with shit wrapped around us and like fucking our daughters.
Living
and
for
shit.
400
You know
years.
what I'm saying?
Nah,
It's like that's
they
a good
wasn't
one.
doing that.
That's a good one. I don't know.
They wasn't doing
Some
that
of us
most of
is
the
like,
Depends on who you ask.
but at the same time, it's
I can
like
tell you they're not. They wasn't doing that.
you think about like the things that we like for us, like we're up against a different type of slavery, a different type of like maybe it's not chattel slavery. We're not kidnapping. We're not physically taking people from their land, but we're not giving them the culture either.
Right.
So it's like we're not, you know, we it's like reverses. Kanye's such a genius. He can give, like, you have a school. The school should never be shut down. Don't build a school to shut a school down because of your opinion.
You're offended.
You're not even. You shouldn't even be attacked. You put it there. You should be over there somewhere in Bermuda.
Let it rock. Right.
Let
right.
that rock. Don't even be
Right.
talking about that. I'm not even popping up over there.
But why not?
What it's giving
For
back.
fear of.
It's not even fear of. It's like giving back. Just we planting seeds. Like, who comes and see how the tree is doing? Like, hey, I planted you like 20 years ago. Oh, let me hug this oak.
Well,
You know, like the nature will take care of itself. You know, like I got to be here and be like, I'm the guy who created all of this stuff. Like, hey, I'm the first guy who Smif-N-Wessun was wearing Timberlands in Brooklyn.
I don't think anybody will look at Oprah. Oprah built the school. Nobody's looking at her like, you know what I'm saying?
She ain't closed the school.
Listen, man.
But at
you gotta
any
show-
given time, when they feel you step out of line, they will go at you.
When you
and
say
it can
they,
happen.
who we talking about?
The powers that be, whoever they are. The powers that, the people that want, like they say, want to keep us down. If we don't educate ourselves, then there's no way we'll be able to get to a person who has the bank over there to open up a school.
Now, Guru said something very important when he came on the show. He was like, let's not call them Illuminati. Let's not use the they. Let's point out exactly who these people are. What families are doing this? What's their first name? What's their last name? Who's behind this?
Right,
We can
right.
fight against that, but we can't fight against the they.
Make a term.
Right.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I want to fight against the you know, somebody said, I forget what revolution they said this, but it was like one out of every 3 people you around work for the feds, work for the enemy.
Right.
One out of every 3. And this was like in the 70s.
That's basically like your
Systematically.
immediate circle.
You know what I'm saying? So
Systematically.
systematically. So
Yeah.
now you consider the fact that, all right, you have to be like, if you have that revolutionary spirit, right? You have to be so swift and changeable, right? Like we know our brothers, but sometimes our brothers be interfering with other brothers. Like I got somebody who come here, he might just be a plant. He don't even know it. He just like know he might say something to somebody else. And then automatically I'm affiliated with that.
information
Now
is
we
not
watching this
spread.
all over. All these little vloggers. Everybody got a voice now, and they can talk about who got locked up. Now little son used to mess around with son and them, and son and them on 113. And it's like, all right, so now you an agent, bruh.
Right.
You not a vlogger. You an agent, bad, bruh.
Yeah.
Like that's not this. Like your build the information is like you know, we create a portal for individuals to see how, you know, these things have affected generations of individuals. But at the same time, you also have to highlight the heroes. You got to highlight the Nat Turners.
the
You got to
people who
highlight
saw
these
the
individuals,
choice.
because right now you could say theoretically right now people are enslaved right now, like, because not everybody is on that dean right now.
Right.
And you could be like, yo, I gotta spill these couple of gems.
But I
so
feel like
some
that,
of these
though,
people
to
will
be
go,
honest,
yo,
right
boom.
now.
If it's not for
Definitely.
us, then we're gonna be like, yo, nah, nobody want to hear this.
Yeah.
Because they want to just hear this. That you lying, bro. That's
Right.
not the truth, bro.
Yo,
like if you don't.
Information
It's
is
like
power,
the
bro.
Matrix. In the Matrix, anybody who wasn't unplugged was a potential enemy.
Facts.
That
It's
was
a
crazy.
reason for
And
slavery.
that's my favorite movie, by the way.
Hey,
Because of
I like
them
the
Jews,
Matrix
you know
and
what
I
I'm
like
saying?
Avatar. Like my thing is Avatar.
Same type of concept.
Right? Like I'm talking about, like we plugged into the earth. We plugged into the universe. Like it's a few of us that know without even
Right.
saying. Like we talk about the shining. We talk about we want our PNC life. It's like sometimes we don't even got to talk.
Right.
It's like, yo, son, like word.
Avatar is
You know
like is they made blue Native Americans.
I just want
That's
to
the
say
whole concept of
to
the
you
movie.
guys real quick.
Blue Native Americans.
There is a reason for slavery. I've said this a million times on
course.
the show before. There is a reason for slavery.
Of course.
And the reason for slavery is disobedience, no matter how you want to look at
What
it.
you mean by that?
Disobedience.
On whose part?
against God. Against God.
Right.
Like if you
know
read
what I'm saying?
Deuteronomy
Then
28,
when you start to
it's
look,
like a
if you
whole
look it up,
description.
you have to start to see when did this so-called slavery even take place, and you will have to go all the way back to the Bible and go back into Genesis, and you have to see exactly who was the first person that decided to take someone into slavery, and you will connect it all, and you will connect why this all happened. It was disobedience.
Yeah.
And once we went into disobedience, it was something that was already going to happen. Now, what we need to know is who can set us free from slavery. That's the question. And can the Nat Turners and the revolutionaries and people who pick up a gun and fight set us free from slavery? If it could, I ask, have it set us free from slavery?
Well, I'm gonna say this.
Wow.
Nat Turner.
He just, woo,
Nat
I got
Turner.
that, I got that.
I know you
let's
did,
go.
brother. I know you did.
But Nat Turner supposedly saw a vision from God.
Supposedly.
Right.
That's not in the Bible. That's no scriptures.
It's not in the Bible, but what's in the Bible? What's in the Bible?
I'm just keeping it real.
Look,
You know what I'm saying? That's not in the Bible.
If
That's
you're
no
curious
scriptures.
to what Big is talking about, look up Deuteronomy 28. It lists the punishment for the chosen people and what would happen to them when they disrespected the laws that was given by God. And the description is kind of airy that it matches slavery down to the eagle that will come scoop you up. And here we are in America, the land of the eagle.
There's a
what I'm saying?
degree in the supreme alphabets. Love, hella, right. You know, and I mean, like, basically, you go through love. Like, you to find love, you go through hell. You know, and at some point, you decide if it's right or it's love. Love is supposed to be the highest form of understanding. Right after you do knowledge, wisdom, understand. That's the highest form of understanding is love.
Love is the language of life.
Right?
Right.
Now, and you talk about the Bible, you talk about Jesus had to go through 40 days and 40 nights, right? This is the son of the creator, right? When you think about that whole concept of slavery or the penalties, like you think about, you can equate that with oneself, right? Oneself has to go through this enslavement and then find this freedom.
To find what? Self-love?
Yeah, you gotta find that. You gotta go to that higher understanding, and then perhaps you can deal with people on a higher level. Like when you say, okay, Jesus is the Christ, right? He hasn't risen. And some people is not even doing that. Like other people is like, all right, you have the Prophet Muhammad, praise be upon him. You know, the Prophet Muhammad, praise be upon him, was illiterate. Right? But the Quran, we are reading these surahs and we're reading these things, and it's like, okay, how do we get these messages from an individual who didn't go through this passageway?
But
You know?
Because there was a higher being in Allah, God, that was passing these messages along.
Right.
That's how we was learning from the Quran, the Bible, and all types of scriptures that was put here before.
Right, so
They say the word would be written on your heart.
the
But
word
not
will be
only
written in
that,
your heart. So each individual can raise to that Christ head. Each individual, like the God say, peace to the gods of earth. Like, you gotta get to
understand
that
that,
God
but that's
stuff,
the
right?
natural
All of us,
process for
and
everybody.
this is something that's confused. Peace to the gods and earth. This is something
Peace.
that's always confused with me, but I just let it be, let it be whatever it be. We all are Christ. That is.
We are
that's
all
what-
made in the
that's
image.
what
Right.
we are going towards. That is the highest platform
Right.
of our spiritual
Right.
self
Right.
would be the Christ.
So a Nat Turner, I don't know if this person even exists, right?
Right.
But the story is Christ-like to me in that regards, where it's like, all right, you have this person, this I don't even know if you can say it's a person,
Right.
right? But this entity that rose up in this outside of the ashes of people, the despair, and just like it's almost like every 1,000 years you have to have a lesson that tells you, like, be a better you.
Right. To stand for something.
Yeah.
But I think for all of us, we kind of experience it. Because from the moment that you're born,
We don't learn shit though. We experience it. We don't learn
but
shit. We
just
like, man, that
understand
Bible ain't, man, I don't listen to that.
We live in a world of
But
abundance.
that's why there's so many different other avenues to learn from.
But the first thing you learn.
Jail.
No. The first thing.
I'm playing devil's advocate. I'm just
the
now
first
being
thing
an
that you
asshole.
learn.
Like,
You ever look at a kid climbing up on some shit that's like twice your size, and you're like, how are you so fearless? That kid from birth has been loved.
You don't know that.
He's been given. Like he came into a scary world and was given. When he was hungry, he was fed. When he cried, he was hugged. That is the introduction to life for all of us. Well, maybe not for all of us.
You raised properly.
But for most of us, when you first come into this world, you're provided for. You're given everything that you need.
Allegedly.
Hopefully.
However, each one of those kids, I'm telling you, take any kid, you go to a playground, they're all fearless. Because they've been given the love. They've been provided. They don't have a fear. They live in this world where they feel like
when I'm
hungry, it's gonna be fed. When I'm this, I'm good.
I feel like
good.
So again, it goes to
that's like the
You
same.
learn fear.
You're
You
taught
learn
that.
fear.
You're taught fear. You're taught.
you taught how to enslave yourself.
And think about it.
You're taught that.
But it's not the first thing that you learn though.
You don't automatically come out hating a lighter shade.
I know. You learn that shit.
My kids are playing with anybody. They don't care.
Wait till they get older though. They're gonna learn prejudice and learn fear and learn.
And they start coming home and saying, yo, such and such is white. And you're like, where you get that from?
Word.
You know what I mean?
My daughter go through that. I used to be like,
you know what I mean? They Puerto Rican.
I'm telling you. You learn that shit. And you learn it from imperfect parents who are already jaded.
I grew up around
and
Puerto
learned a bunch
Ricans
of
and the
folks.
Protestants. I love Puerto Ricans.
Yeah, we all love Puerto Ricans.
Before we leave this one spot, man.
Puerto.
It's one spot.
Tatiano.
Mention.
Welcome to my TV.
In the scripture, since we was on it, it's a little important. Before Christ died, and he was speaking to the disciples and the Israelites and stuff like that. Y'all study it, and most people know what I'm talking about. He told them that after he was gone, the camps was going to get surrounded, and they was going to come to put us in slavery. And he told them, don't fight, don't resist it. At that time, Greek was not looking to really destroy us. The Romans, that's not what they was looking for. They was looking to get control and get everything back in order. You had those that was from the Christ movement that did not agree with the teachings. This is all in the scripture.
It's a lot,
that
though,
with
Bigga.
the Christ movement that decided that they wanted to fight. They fought. That was the reason the Romans turned around and destroyed Israel.
No, it wasn't.
See?
But yet, look it up in the scripture.
Church.
Look. You could go pick up a book called the Maccabees, and you can read about Antiochus Epiphanes. You can read about the persecution of the Jews at the same time that the New Testament claims to be.
You talk about the Maccabees.
You know what I
That's
mean?
not
Like,
even.
All of that is
It's a lot, bro. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of different teachings in this room. You know what I'm saying?
Apart. So they're
I didn't
learning
even say
and
anything
growing
about
up.
the Maccabees. I was talking about Christ.
No, but I'm just saying
we're
the
talking about the
learnings
same
and the
time.
teachings are
If
still
you know the timeline, it's the same
recorded
time.
What you mean?
and learned years down the
What do you
line
mean?
apart from each other.
I'm just missing it. What do you mean?
Everything that you're saying that we learned or that was taught to us was learned at different times, was brought to us at different times.
I'm lost. What part? What part are you saying that I'm talking
Any
about?
part of the education of the slavery of how we look at Christ, how we take even our lives that we learn to move forward on. When we came up, our parents came up differently. When our parents came up, their parents came up differently. So it's all learnings, like we said earlier, it's all in a timeline that was taught and learned from different ways.
I don't disagree with that. We learn every day. Every day is a learning process. But what did you mean by the writing? That's what I was trying to understand.
The writings, what I
Yeah.
Writing on the wall.
You was
I
talking
said
about
writings?
the writings. Oh, all right, because you just said, that we was learning, so I thought you was comparing to what I was just speaking about Jesus. So I thought you was trying to compare that to the teaching.
Nah, I think.
Now listen. No matter what you believe, I believe that there's two powers to everything. It's the positive energy and the negative energy.
Right.
No matter what you believe, there's no religion that tells you, yo, rule number one, be a shitty individual. None of them do that. Whether it's Buddhism, Taoism, there's nothing that
Everything's
teaches
supposed to be
you
a good
to be
deed,
a
a
piece
good
of
person.
shit. You know what I'm saying? None of them. So I respect everything that you know, every different culture, every different religion, because I understand we're all adapting
I'm
to
sure
these
it's
things.
a couple of religions that tell you to go throw some shit on somebody.
Which ones?
You have a
I don't know.
Do you know the
Maybe
name?
it's not a religion.
Yo,
it's
can't
just-
name it.
You know what?
Yeah,
Listen,
satanic. The
what I will
satanic
say-
If a
religion
tree falls in the
thing.
forest, okay. All right.
there's a bad shit in the
Right.
woods.
You know, but it's positive and negative energy.
Right.
And deep down, a lot of the structure of what they're telling you to believe is almost the same as manifestation. Believing that you are protected, believing that you are doing the right thing, keeping your spirit light. You know what I mean? Like following the teachings of Ma'at, keeping your spirit light as a feather. You dig what I'm saying?
I
That's
think
another one.
But not feeling the guilt of committing a sin.
I wanna all of religion aside, I wanna salute the bro, Stickman.
Yeah.
Smart brother.
Shout out to Stickman. I still
When he
work out
just
to
did the
this.
7
The
principles.
workout, we be in the gym getting crazy to the workout,
Bruh,
son.
this is where like you have different levels of what a Nat Turner would be,
Right.
what a Harriet Tubman would be.
Right.
Now we have those two. We have a male and a female. We can use those two examples to illustrate a dichotomy between a male and a female, because it doesn't have to be a sexual thing. It doesn't have to be, you know, light skin, dark skin things. Like
Science project.
when a person gets to the point, you gotta.
You trying to figure out
You can read that.
I'm not
what you trying to read, bro?
I like, hold my bottle of water. I'm not fucking with this.
It's in English. It's like a bottle of soy sauce.
No,
That's
it's not.
magnified.
It's
glass.
no, it's really not soy sauce.
You're
It's
right,
not.
bro.
Nah, but-
Why is the bottle dusty?
It's wine.
But
It's wine.
From ancient times.
peep the bill, man.
All right.
Like you
block
have
is
you
that?
have in our timeline you have illustrations of men, women who have shown that Nat Turner esque, or have shown that, you know,
Tucson.
Harriet Tubman.
they or that sojourner, or like, because your revolutionary doesn't have to be you grabbing a gun and just just like slicing the enemy or whatever. It can be
Right.
something that you can go, let me rearrange the dialect, or the you know, whatever's been the spell that's been put on my.
Teach him one of them
I
how to
need
read.
you to get it this way.
Right.
Or I need you to know how when you over here,
Affecting the mind.
before you can even get to that part, you got like make sure these babies is over here tucked away. They need to know how to do certain things. You know how to start a fire in the wilderness. You know how to move around in Harlem. You know how to avoid these dope things over here on the east side.
Facts.
And it's like you learn that from the community, your uncles, your aunties.
Experience.
We have
Right.
that, and even like, you know, now it's important for that, and you can see it where like we losing a lot of our youngsters now.
That's a
Because
fact.
they feel detached.
ASAP, quick.
What you
Right.
talking about? What you said? Break them, right? They
Buck
get
'em.
broken. They buck them. You know, you build them
breaking.
up. You buck them up here, and you break them on down. Man, dingo. Bring
Right.
them over here. You make them over here. Shorty over here with the, right? And then you separate that, and you have your warriors, the strongest people in your community who can, you know. So slavery is like it's like, woo, systematic. The systematic version of that is so deep embedded. Like whoever created that had to be the same person who created the atomic bomb, bro.
I hear you. If you think about how the mental a part of that shit language is to this day, think about it. We can't even stop oppression and cops from killing us now. We fighting against the same shit now. It's just remixed and it looks different because we free and all this other shit, but we can't stop the oppression now.
There are photographs of black men hanging And there are people standing there going, hey, we had a barbecue. And then there are children there. How old are those children? Right? And then their children, how old are their children?
Right.
Like they are born into this version of going, yo, this is cool.
God bless them. You know Chad's big up. Like, you probably know Chad, Black Hand Chad.
Absolutely.
He watched his father get hosed in the 60s. He watched his father get hosed down during the segregated times and shit like that. So he grew up with a crazy impression of white people. He was always trying to find a balance because he watched his father.
You know
get
what?
hosed down.
I got one better for you,
in a time
Hans.
where the segregation was and oppression was at an all-time high.
I got one better for you,
It's not that long ago, bro.
If you listen, man, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I think if any one of us, I see your face because you like, man, not me, Slick. I'm not turning with the black burner.
I'm not mad at Matt.
I just feel like
I think we all be in the BLA. You know what I'm saying? At some point, it's like, okay, you know, at some point, you like, you're part of revolutionary. It's like, yo, the BLA, we robbing banks, we doing all this, we guns on police. Then the other part of revolutionary is like, we out here feeding these babies.
right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, what the version of you want to play? It's like, all of those parts are super important.
That's a fact.
You know? And then we got somebody
Every
who can
piece on the chessboard moves.
Somebody got to take the notes.
Right.
Because if all of us get wiped out, then somebody going to think that this is a fairy tale.
That
That
it
it
never
never happened.
happened.
They're going to be like, Nat Turner, he ain't exist.
That ain't
I ain't see him on Instagram.
They ain't got no
I ain't seen that turn on Instagram.
Motherfuckers will make a comic book. Motherfuckers will make a comic book.
Going live?
Boom! They'll make a comic book and give them superpowers and shit, and
superhero,
just make
right?
them like, yeah, it was a comic book. It wasn't, you know what I mean? It was a
Yo,
real
but
shit.
you know what? I learned.
fact.
I was watching. Man, I've been watching that. I was watching something the other day talking about the original Lone Ranger. Is a black guy. You know what I'm saying? John Horse. I think it's John Horse or something. I don't know if that's the name, but it's one of these black guys who, you know, he was in so many wars helping the American colonize things and moving around.
Right.
And then he was like, he went to Louisiana or one of these places, and he had to get up out of there, and he wanted to go to Mexico, and he started messing with the indigenous people over there, and he had, you know, Indians over there, I hate to say Indians.
Natives.
You know,
Natives.
natives. And they was rocking out. He was the sheriff. He became the sheriff over there, and then you know, some Caucasians was like, yo, this is a dope story. And you have the Lone Ranger. We can't have no black guy running around like the Lone Ranger.
A lot of our history is like that though. Remix and shit.
I mean,
Facts. They'll talk about Edison and how many experiments it took for him to
Edison.
you know what I'm saying? Like, correct me if I'm wrong. Develop the light bulb, right? I'm not tripping.
The filament.
Yeah, they get
Right. But the filament is what made it work. Yeah. And that was invented by a black man.
That's a fact.
So
They
he
told-
never
we
really
ain't
got
learned
it
that
right.
in school. We ain't learned that in
The
school.
black man got it right,
Right,
and then
right.
he took that piece and was like, "Oh, okay, this is how you
let me
do
put
it."
it in the glass.
Now here's the trick part.
We ain't learned that in school.
Here's the trick part. Why did the black man invent the filament?
Why?
Wasn't it to create the light bulb?
To create the light. Right.
But they'll still give the credit.
Of course.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying?
So Edison created the glass.
No, he
That's it.
ripped the shit off anyway. So
I mean,
yo,
so
you know, we didn't even start the episode yet.
Salute.
We haven't even started the episode.
edit that shit in somewhere.
I know it's gonna be a good one.
edit
It's
that
gonna be a good one.
I think we recorded, but I didn't know he was going. You know, I said Kanye's a mutt. Here you come. So that's
Yeah, you
why-
open the can, you open the can,
And again,
here we
I
are.
don't think that we need to take that approach to our own, because nobody else is gonna be mad.
Even
gonna be
if that's what you
sympathetic.
think, I don't think we, as us brothers, that should be let them know that we feel.
I'm about to say that
Right.
too. Like, I don't think we should do nothing that subscribes to none of that cancel culture type of shit.
Right.
Yeah, that's
We gotta
right.
embrace
Right.
that nigga.
That's
and-
corny.
and
Word.
if we gotta help him in any kind of way we feel,
No,
that's my opinion.
I'm not saying you can't
I'm not canceling
feel
nobody,
how you
like,
No, you can feel how you feel.
I'm not talking about canceling them. I'm talking about I personally, when you are running around being as destructive as he is being to people that I love, to the culture that I
He's a
love.
G-check.
But hold on. Why is he being destructive?
Why?
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit you with a line my father used to tell me. When the results don't change, the why is irrelevant.
No, all right. But
No,
That
but
means
How the
How
dumb
is
say
he
why is the question
destructive?
was
look,
asked
he
by the
said
dumb definition?
he told us he suffers from mental illness.
Okay.
So we all know, I have that in my family. We all know when they're not on their meds, how those episodes can go sometimes.
Right.
Like it can be truly detrimental,
Mental,
deadly episodes
Yeah.
of them. And it can be some shits where you just ranting and
So when you decide to not take your meds, when you decided to not take your meds, knowing how powerful you are, and then you decide to run with people who are destructive to your folks.
But at that same time,
Now what happens?
At that same time, in his mind, because it's distorted, he's thinking, "Yo, I'm leading a revolution."
Oh no,
He believes that shit.
I believe.
What I'm not saying what he's doing is not dickheadish.
Yeah, no.
I'm
I
not saying it's
question
not
about
dickheadish.
I believe he thinks he's
And
doing
he's
the
a
right
visionary,
thing.
but
the
we
problem
as
is,
people have to
no
pray
one
for
is
him.
the villain in their own story. Everybody thinks they're the fucking hero. Like, of course he thinks he's doing the right thing.
That's like one of my
And you
OGs
think you're
just
doing the
told
right thing
me.
by calling him a mutt?
Mussolini thought
In
he
your
was
mind,
doing
you
the
can
right
be the
thing.
And
biggest
you think
killer.
you're doing the right thing by calling him a mutt?
No, I think
Mac,
I'm doing my thing by calling him a
Listen,
mutt. Like,
do you
I'm not
feel-
telling anybody else to do it.
Cause listen. Even though some of his statements sound anti-Semitic and shit like that, right? Which some of them are, because his message be distorted because he rambles and goes all over the fucking place. Do you believe that when he's talking about empowering black people, do you believe him, or you think he's acting?
No. I think.
I believe the nigga. I ain't gonna hold you. I think it's just a
no,
weird
no.
approach.
I think
believe him.
when he talks about empowering black people in one sentence, and then turns around and says slavery was a choice in another sentence, or turns around and says,
So do we?
or gives us Candace Owens talking points in another sentence.
Yeah, I didn't agree with that at all. I think he
Yeah,
was violent
but
for that.
Candace Owens got to be like one of the biggest con artists out here, and you taking points from her, spewing all the shit that she spews. Even if you think this is the way black people is gonna be to a better place, even if that's what you
I thought that
really
was a mistake
believe.
too. Like,
So do you chalk that
him
up to
getting
mental
was a
health?
mistake. Her getting it to him was a power move.
Because we don't know if he took his
He was a
meds
pawn
that
he was a
day.
pawn that chessboard, but sometimes
Mental health.
Sometimes you're the pawn and you don't see it. I think he just didn't
Arrogance.
see it. Like, oh, you got played, bro. You missed that
Obnoxiousness.
step. She played
It can be that.
Narcissism.
It can
Candace
be.
Owens
It
not a
can be
chess
all
player.
that.
That
It
was
can
the
be
worst.
all
That
that.
was the worst
It
move
can
you
be
could
all
have
that.
made.
My whole point in saying all of that. My whole point in
Facts.
saying all of that is, bro, at this level, with your voice, the way you are looked at, you are destructive as shit.
To some
You
degree.
have responsibility.
Destructive to who?
I kind of
Us.
feel like
To the things you say you want to put forward. You were just wilding and being wild destructive.
So-
at some point, as beautiful as that machine can be, somebody got to fucking pull
I'm
it
getting-
off.
I'm getting a feeling you're like-
he's given the secrets of what they're doing.
yeah,
so
but-
Yeah, that's all. I don't think anybody should pull the plug.
Why is he being destructive?
at some
Because
No,
he's
no, no.
telling the
But you gotta
secrets of what's
understand.
going on behind the
For
doors.
some people-
Hold on. That's
Yeah.
just like certain rappers that's out here like, yo, it's these type of parties going on, and I went up here and seen this behind the curtain, and I moved around. So now you're not telling what's going on behind the curtain, but you're still in the party. So now if Ye is saying, yo, I went to this party, and I flung the curtain over, and I walked through the party, and now I'm coming back this way to
Reporting.
tell you what's happening.
I don't. That's. Sway told him years ago he could have did it on his own. He shitted on Sway in front of everybody. Now he turned around years later talk about, oh, Sway had the answer.
We're
So
not
we're not
perfect.
reinventing
No
the
one
fucking
but
wheel.
our
Wait,
Lord
wait,
is
wait,
perfect.
he
We're
can't
not
get it right
perfect.
eventually?
Yeah.
No,
We're
no,
not
but you still
perfect.
gotta eat the fact that
Bro,
you
you
were.
know at some point in your life you was shitting on yourself, right?
at some
But you
point
know that, right?
at some-
And
he
What
apologized to Sway.
What does
you
that
do
have
know
to-
that, right?
what does that have to do
You
with
know,
anything?
you know
some
you was
point in
walking
your
around
life-
as a kid and you was just stopping in the
we're
middle of
not-
the hallway.
We're not you never gonna have the
And
you
he
never
did
It
say
took a while
Sway.
before
He
you
said
knew that was
Sway.
wrong.
You was
Did
right.
he do
You
it
had
on
the
his own,
answer.
or did somebody have to
Bro,
approach
I'm
him
just
with that
saying,
and turn
man.
it
You
into
never-
clickbait?
all right, let's
Number
back-
one. Number two, we're not talking about a little baby walking around the hallway. We're talking about a grown ass man.
When it
with
comes to
tons of
knowledge,
money and a lot of
when it comes to
power.
knowledge, some people are babies.
we
bro.
talking about
Some people are babies.
All right, so
son.
let's
And you put it in
bring it in,
You can't say that.
bring it in. Let's bring it in, gentlemen. We're talking about hip hop. We're talking about entertainment. Let's
Right.
talk about that part. right? Because now, partly for pointing at you, you know, like, niggas in Browns were like, yo, don't point at me, motherfucker, ain't dead, son.
Stop talking with your hands.
You do that, you talk to me from a distance. Watch your hands, bring it in. Because you gotta think like, okay, now we like Nori said, like, I ain't go to school for this shit.
Right.
Like none of us went to school to know how to do interviews. Right? Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry. Of course, Mr. MECC. I got degrees in this shit. All right. Anyway, there's a few exceptions to the rule.
Could have sworn I just.
But then you thrusted individuals into this realm where they have to, kind of have answers for everything. You know, and I'm not making excuse. I'm talking about artists. I'm talking about entertainers. I'm talking about any one of these people who have to be like, okay. All right, Kanye, what is your view on this? Like, if I have any political views, then I gotta know like what how do I want to remove the president? Who I want to put in place of the council? Right. I didn't think that far. I just want to put these 16 bars and go, yo, like I'm mad right now. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I'm not even able to. In that regards, I should be able to express that, but I also should know that in this realm, I'm gonna have to deal with the consequences of what my words. Particularly when I'm at a certain level, like it's not gonna be like I'm just saying this because I had a bad day, or I'm off my meds. Fuck your meds, bro. Like or whatever. Like everybody is really out here on.
Every night and day. He don't make
everybody on meds anyway.
I'm saying I agree.
Everybody on meds. Everybody on meds.
I'm pointing because I agree.
Can we get off of this?
No, I'm not even.
Kanye is our brother. Let's make dua. Let's pray for him. Can we get into what we're here to get into?
I think
we're not here to talk about Ye.
But we're not talking about
3 hours.
We're not talking about Ye. We're talking about mental health.
Yeah.
And Ye just gave us the most best case study.
True.
Especially for hip hop. Now let's talk about Sean Price. Let's talk about drug abuse. Let's talk about steal. Let's talk about alcoholism. Oh. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about something that people can identify with. Let's go, yo, hi, how did you meet Tek? Hey, how did that go? Like, fuck that shit. That shit. That shit. My name is Tek. Let's go around the room. Let's go around the room. My name is Tek. We talking about the story. We survived the multiple things. We survived the most craziest shit, bro. Now we watching crack babies running around getting record deals. So we like, holy shit. All right, no, they little niggas is killing it. They killing it. What you going? That's what you got. That's all you got to say. Come on, man. You watching genocide. Don't talk to me about Rwanda. Don't talk to me about what's going on in the Middle East and none of that stuff. And you're watching genocide. You're watching hip hop genocide.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Don't even talk about like, all right, yo, the little homies they got it. The little homies is like, nah, big homie. Yo, this conversation, the little niggas gonna be like this, word. Cause I was just saying that to my mans in them. Right. Nobody ain't talking about it. Why nobody talking about it?
I literally just had this convo with some of the homies coming from Rest in Peace Tsunami Way. Another homie from
Rest in Peace.
We just literally had this conversation.
Rest in Peace Eastwood. Word.
Wow.
Yeah. Already.
So this is.
Rest in peace, my auntie Marie. So I just found out, it's like people are passing away, but here we are
rapidly
able to have the conversation in the name of there to hither thou to there the.
I'm so sick of hearing rest in peace.
Man,
if I tell you as many times as we do this show, the guests who have come and sat across from us, and every other sentence when they talking about somebody, they got to say rest in peace.
Life is real. I lost my bestie. I lost my bestie.
No, we not talking about people who died from age.
22, I lost my bestie.
Yeah, but
I lost my father, my brother on my birthday, and
lost
had
my
to
mom's
do
on
the
my
show
birthday
that night, June 3rd in Virginia.
Lost my mom's on my birthday last year. Where did my mother, son?
So it's
I was like,
when I told you I don't lie.
Some shit we don't hear from.
So it's just shit that I like to speak my life in what I was given this gift to do for my life, which is make music.
Right.
If it wasn't for music, I walked through a 360 doors from coming outside of the streets and be able to do this. I'm blessed to meet this brother, you to know this type of even energy.
Life, that's a fact.
Because if it wasn't for the music, my life would be in a totally different atmosphere
That's
from
a
what
fact.
it would be.
Well, let's get to that. Let's get to
I
that.
think we can all say that.
All right, we back. We back. Oh man, my expert opinion. Hit that share. Let them know you in here. It don't cost you no paper unless you's a motherfucking hater.
Shush.
Oh, Mac.
What up, bro?
I said,
I don't want to talk about it. Don't talk that.
My
Little
next
Sean
song.
Bigger.
Fuck it.
I like the new
Oh
look.
yeah. Cheers, my
I like
nigga.
the
We
new
ain't
look.
close yet.
Cheers.
Yeah.
The hell's
word,
that?
word.
I'm gonna go to
Like
Turkey
shit.
and join you one day.
I ain't gonna hold you. This
Came with a good
episode is the
turkey.
most I even heard you say.
Yeah.
Right.
Nah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because
I saw him
give it
It's
to
a
maybe because you
content.
cut your dreads. That's what it is. Right?
I did give it to a few folks.
It's a content.
Few
This
times.
is his
And that's
type
a
of content.
beautiful
Yeah, he wanna hear that real
when
shit.
the,
I ain't
the
mad.
energy is there,
Yeah.
and it brings it out.
Right.
We are brothers in here.
Right. Like you said, like again.
I know
not
one-
to
Hold on, I'm still
beat a
introducing
dead
you.
horse. Oh, go
Oh, yeah,
ahead.
let me get to it. Yeah.
So we recording
Let me
now.
get to the sauce. Yeah.
Yeah, we on now.
Let's go.
We've been recording, but let's get to it. I got my man GRAFH in the building,
Hey, what up? My name GRAFH, y'all. You ready now?
and I got
Cheers.
listen.
Indeed.
Listen. There is a certain melody
Hints.
that when it's played through a saxophone,
Everything stops.
it awakens every Brooklyn nigga in the world, no matter where you at. When you hear
Hey. That's a fact.
Listen,
Oh man.
listen.
Historians.
These are guys that helped shape Math Hoffa, shape me coming. You feel what I'm saying?
Me too. Shit.
Yeah.
We got Smif-N-Wessun, aka the Cocoa Brothers. And I know this is weird because we like an hour in. We're finally doing the
Just
intro.
doing the intro.
But this is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
Yo,
New York.
thank you for gracing the platform, fellas.
It's been like 100 episodes. What you like 100 and
138.
Congrats to that, nigga. Cheers to that. Congrats.
Salute. 39.
I was
39.
I was at
What
40
about
going,
when?
yo, I know, son. Like,
Yeah.
what's going on? All right,
Right.
in due time, we get out there. But it's like, man, when you think about the bill, man, yes, it's great to be here in Harlem. Me and my PNC used to run up on Harlem to try to find the banging, you know what I mean, you heard? And, you know what I mean? Like, yo, as Brooklyn Cats, the Cocoa Beans was out here. So, Spanish Harlem, woo woo.
So where did you meet Tek?
Oh God.
That's funny, son.
Do it, die, man. Style, baby.
Do it,
We
die,
met-
man.
Me and Tech met in Cybertron.
Wow.
You know, you know. You don't, you don't. You know what I'm saying?
Big up the big old pimp cook, Rambo.
That's what's
Right.
up. You know
Thuggy
what's dope
piece.
though? A lot of times I see like I might see you Dolo, I might see him Dolo. When I see y'all niggas together, that shit is amazing.
It's different.
Yeah, it's different.
Right.
That shit is amazing. When I see y'all niggas together, I be cheating like, what's up, nigga?
The fact that y'all
Word.
still cool is a testament.
Yeah,
Word.
man.
Hey.
Like cool enough to be
Brothers,
seen in
nigga.
public.
Yeah, celebrate
You know how many
that.
times
Right, but you know
I've
how
heard
many-
that, bro?
how many
We brothers
brothers
that they
done-
don't talk
It's
no
deeper
more.
than
Like,
you know what I'm
rap, man.
Facts,
This
tell
is-
them, talk about
which
it.
is
This
why
is-
it's beautiful to
This
see.
is nah,
Yeah.
literally.
It's
I remember being in.
we gotta make up fights. Like
Literally.
I gotta be like, yo, you cool with me?
Literally.
We
Yo, you
good?
cut me off on stage. You're like, why you? What?
Right? All right, we good? All right, cool.
But I remember literally being in like junior high school. I'm from the Style, 324, shit like 308 public school, junior high, 324. I remember literally filling out the high school applications, right? And I never claimed to be the sharpest crayon out of the box. So of course I pick schools that's, you know, gonna get me out of Brooklyn because of the shit I was doing. And I wanted to experience different shit.
Shit, right. Right.
So getting out of Brooklyn, and I put, at that time it was called printing, graphic communication arts. So I
He
put the
thought
shit
you
down.
was escaping.
I'm thinking I'm going to a smart school, getting out, escaping the hood.
Right.
And they're just like, yo, why you?
Bing bang.
You know what's happening over there? You know what's really going on over there? I'm like, nah, what are you talking about? This is. You gotta take a test to get into this. You gotta be smart.
Yeah, this gotta be a good one.
They're like, nah, nigga, that's Decepticons, nigga. I'm like, what? What the fuck? Nigga, that's a cartoon. They're like, nigga, I'm telling you, if you see this nigga Laserbeak and he following you, they gonna get you, my nigga. I'm like, yo, what the fuck are you talking about?
What are you talking about, right?
Are you serious?
Right.
But this was real life shit.
Shit, yeah.
That we ain't like jumping over the porch early, still being in school because you had to have some type of education moving around the sty, the Ville. So, to make a long story a little bit longer but shorter at the same time,
Right.
to get to the school, and it's like, now you start seeing nefarious individuals moving around and they looking like,
Right.
and you're like, damn, all right, where?
Shit different.
Now I'm really in the mix.
Right,
Shit
right,
is
right.
a little different
Different.
now. I'm
Right.
in the mix.
Right.
Oh, so all that shit you was talking, so now niggas in, you know, I used to be in high school, it was different classes. You go here at one day, one time, and then you go homeroom. It's like the third period.
Right.
So now niggas is lined up and looking at you like, oh, this must be the
new guy.
nigga they was talking about.
This must be lazy.
I see this nigga through the hallway all the time.
Right.
Why the fuck you in my shit now?
Right.
So that's how, to answer the question, that's how me and him met.
Oh, he was Laserbeak.
I hung out with lazy.
We hung out with Laserbeak. His shit was steel punch. My shit, I was quiet. I ain't never used to talk. I just used to hurt people because my voice, I was conscious of my voice and my looks back. You know what I mean?
Right.
Be called the monkey, ugly nigga, big ears, light voice. Oh, your voice is that. So all I did was fight and hurt people.
Right.
So when I finally, I think, got introduced to my brother through our other brother, Cookie Head from Brevoort.
Big old pimp.
Big old grandma, we lived in there, and it was, and our brother Rambo, it just brought on a whole new expansion of my life.
Right.
So from what, 9th grade?
From the end of ninth.
So from the end of ninth.
From the end of ninth, from like the middle of ninth, we was like, yo, next year we taking over the school.
Right. From when you, what's the first day of high school called? When you get
Freshman day.
Yeah, like
Nah, not
day.
freshman day. When you go orientation.
Orientation.
From orientation, we've been together.
Wow.
We've been together. He was the rapper. I never wanted to rap. I just wanted to be behind the scenes, engineering, hurting people, keeping niggas away from him.
Bodyguarding.
That was it.
Engineering.
He actually wrote my first rap. He wrote my first verse.
First rap.
He gave me the name Tek, the enemy killer, but Tek is actually the first 3 letters of my name, Tikoman. So it's just like, this is what God wills. So
Right.
Nobody can
You
stop
gave him
it.
that name without even knowing that? Or that just happened?
I knew his name.
He knew my
It's
name.
Like, you know,
okay.
I'm just an egghead. Like, I'm a nerd. Like, I'm the nerd.
Yeah, you
Gangsta
ain't
nerd.
talk.
Like, I be
I'm
writing
one of
stuff
them.
down. I be like, yo, I got mad names for us, son. Like, what you think? He like, yo, what are you talking about? Like, now let's just look over the names. Like,
But I wasn't even his first partner though.
Who was
Yeah,
first partner?
shit.
The
My
nigga
man-
had
my man
like
Chuck, my
13
man
partners before me. Like, he was a community rapper. You know what I mean? Nigga was a community rapper.
Now, my man
That's
Chase
funny.
put me on the rap thing, though. My man Chase from Chauncey.
But it was the Smif-N-Wessun before the community.
Nah.
No.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that was the
Together
fuck.
we came up with Smif-N-Wessun. Smif-N-Wessun came about as just like, it had nothing to do with the guns anyway. It was just like, when you see
we was the two
one, you
quiet
think of the
niggas.
other
Facts.
automatically.
Right.
Right.
Like even to this day, a nigga see me like, yo, Steele, where Tek at? And I'm like, damn.
Right.
30 plus years of nigga, I
Nigga
am
still
Tek.
going-
You
right,
talking about?
right.
Oh shit, my
Yeah.
bad, my nigga. But that's how that came apart.
We got to give a lot of credit to like Cookie Head and Rambo, rest in peace.
Definitely.
Because like these guys influenced a lot of our relationship. You know, they were like, you know, they became like so vocal that we would just be in it. We were like the hitmen. We would just sit there and be like, all right, as long as on fight me, you got the dudes in the front. They would be those guys, and we just be like,
Right. Foreman.
you know what I'm saying? And we loved it, and we just like, go wide, go this way. So like, you know, to the point where it's like the synchronicity gets spooky.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, your relationship starts to become almost esoteric. Like, dude, we kind of striving for the same things. Like
Right.
we started like our set was PM, perfect man. We thought we was perfect.
PM, perfect man.
Right?
Right.
Which is the acronym for Power Masters. Right? Think
Right.
of the Vince the Prince. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So like we was running around going, yo, we unstoppable. Like it's just like, yo, we can fight, we look gorgeous. You know, we all kind of short except for Rambo. Rambo is you like Rambo. You got the Rambo
I got
deal.
They
height,
kind
I
of
got the height.
favored them.
Yeah,
That's
that's
what's
a
up.
fact. That's a
That's
fact.
what's up.
You know, Cook was a Lincoln guy, but Cook he was like Mark Breland. You know what I'm saying? Like pop, pop, pop. He'll pop you with like 4 times, pop, 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 pop.
But
you
niggas
trying to
had
get to
so
him.
much different shit going. Look, Cook could have played for the fucking Yankees.
Cook could have played for the Yankees.
When Major League Baseball. This
Right.
is like,
But these were just the times.
yeah,
Right?
these was the time. This is our family, not even friends.
But our bond, this is our bond that became the glue that kept us even before the rap stuff.
Right.
So like he said, he wasn't my rap partner. Chase, I was rapping with him. I was horrible. Like Chase was like Coogee rap to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm way better than him now.
Nobody will never be like Coogee rap.
No, to me at that time,
Sound.
he was like Coogee rap to me. I was like, I don't know.
Right.
I was like, I had like 2 raps. And he was like, yo, I rap, you know what I'm saying? Polo word, I got mad jewelry. I'm like, yo, it's crazy because you know, I was just building with my partner. I was just building with my wife, and she was talking about the Wild Bunch. You know what I'm saying? If you're from Brooklyn and you know about the Wild Bunch, you know the cats up the hill playing a baseball game. Like my man Chase, his mom's was part of the Wild Bunch. Wow. So our history is like, yo, we like the bastards of party for real. Like we bastards of the Black Panthers, even though the Panther Party started in, you know,
Tomahawks, Wild
Tomahawks,
Tomahawks,
yeah, facts.
but we talking about
Nice.
like this is like, you know, salute to Sonny Carson, of course, Akbar, you know what I mean, our law school in Brooklyn and Harlem. But these are we the children of revolutionaries.
That's real.
You know, how revolution only exists when there's oppression. So we're looking at all of these things and we're going, all right, we raising from that. It's crazy because here we are, hip hop, like hip hop historians who raised from like, yo, like fuck y'all kids. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like we don't care that the Bronx is downtrodden. We don't care that Brooklyn don't got it's a bunch of rats and get out of here. You know, we start building stuff, and even to this day, like we're still striving to do these things. It's like for every issue or every problem, like it's people like us that's gonna raise up and get our Nat Turner on. Right? And give thanks for the hip hop culture. Salute to the pioneers. I would never go like the older cats ain't do nothing. They did everything.
Facts.
You know, they bled for this. They allowed us to come and go, yo, now they chop down the trees so we can put buildings up.
Right.
You know, so we looking at gentrification. Don't talk about gentrification. Talk about us building up, you know, from us, like take that chain off,
Foundation.
pawn that chain, son, because I used to snatch that.
Right.
I snatched that. You come to print with that, that's not yours no more.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's what I took New York that I grew up in. Like
Yeah.
you gotta pay you talk about checking in, it means checking in.
Yeah. If you
So, like,
in Brooklyn, if you didn't have the reputation, you couldn't go certain places.
you should be proud to
couldn't
take
do
care of your
nothing.
neighborhood.
Right.
Stay in your house.
Stay in your house.
See, in Brooklyn, niggas get confused because I'm from the South, so we got tree-lined blocks.
Right.
And brownstones. So you might think it's sweet, but at the same time, you can get your noodle bust wide open on that tree line block.
You bust the wrong corner, you find yourself by one of them projects. And it's like, oh man,
what's going on now?
It's a whole different. But for us, it was different because when we was coming up, Bed-Stuy and Brownsville was always pitted against each other.
Right. That's from the Tomahawks and
right. So when we did come together and started fucking with each other, it was our peers, and then it was the generation over us as well as the generation under us that we found common ground with. That was like
shit.
right, unified.
That's right,
exactly.
100%.
Exactly.
We broke rules, we created new rules, but we ain't violate no codes.
Right.
You know,
So
it's like
I never got the breakdown of what were the rules on Cybertron.
Don't be no pussy.
Nah, Cybertron, man, it's like any other school, really. It's like you know, it's what's crazy is like a breeding ground for D-Ceps.
Wait. Hold on.
But that's not the first
You
breeding
can't really
ground.
answer that like that. You gotta. What rules did you get, or what was you told?
Right. What was you told?
About Cybertron?
Right.
And then we can go into.
I had older cousins that was part of, but I never knew like what
Understood
was
what it was.
You know what I mean? The guards, you're with the guards, they give you the supreme math, they use, you know what I mean?
Right.
All that shit to break down, but I never knew what was the manual.
Before Cybertron,
Okay.
you
There you
have
go. Brooklyn Tech,
Brooklyn Tech. That's battle training area.
which is
Right.
another to this day gifted school,
Right.
That you have to
Yeah, that's
take
a fact.
tests
You can't
in.
just go to Tech.
You just
Brooklyn
can't
Tech,
get a
lawyers come out of
in
Brooklyn
Brooklyn
Tech.
Tech.
Lawyers come out of Brooklyn Tech.
Exactly.
Right.
I think they might have dubbed me on Tech. I think I tried to get it. Like,
I never even put Brooklyn Tech on the app. I never even put it on the application. But that's a school where you really like.
Yeah.
You had to be smart.
I mean, even all right. You had Brooklyn Tech. You had Art and Design, which is I think Mobb Deep went to.
Mobb Deep,
You
right.
had Printing,
They
where
dubbed
we
me
went
on
to,
that one, too.
and I think was it King? Where KD's went.
King was the
I
one,
think
but it
King's
was
the
another
other
one. It was
and probably Fashion Institute. But at every one of these schools, our presence was so fucking detrimental that when we came up to the school on a loudspeaker, you would hear the principal like, yo, them niggas outside, we having an early dismissal. Everybody go out the side door and the back door. Don't even go down this street.
Right.
But we there like, I mean, we was only, nah, I ain't gonna say.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
We weren't really trying to. I mean, yeah, we were.
I'll say this though. It's like for like, you know, for the early days, it's like we would go on missions. Like for cats in Brooklyn, the boosted missions was meows, right?
Yeah, meows.
And then it's
Said
like,
this on the show before.
for
Steam
like,
team, we had all that.
right.
for us, we call them what's. Like we go on missions, we just walk through the city, and whatever we saw, we just took.
Yeah.
Like you saw, we just whatever, and it's like, you know, whoever, even like you had the older cats in the back. They like, yo, they'll see stuff like blocks away. Like, yo, I dude with the thing under the thing. I want that. He try to tuck that rope.
But that's when we was fun.
I want that rope.
That was
You can have
snatching
that
pockets,
goose.
snatching diamonds.
Everything.
I mean, even
It's the
being-
proving
train.
grounds.
Yeah.
It's the
Stripping
proving
guys
grounds.
on
It's
the
like
train.
whoever the guy who
Taking
proved the
his
most.
sneakers
the
off
train
their
was the
The guy who
last stop
proved
to
the
the
most,
way
right.
home.
It's no different from now.
First,
right?
we outside of the train walking down 40 Deuce before it became Wonderland over there and
Yeah,
everything.
facts.
This one where you niggas was catching money bags and snatching diamonds, ripping the whole pocket off.
There's the Kung Fu movie theaters and the Triple X spots and all that.
Straight
Yo,
piss on the floor, 40s, OE, Red Bull.
that-
Chicks was actually
was-
selling pussy out there.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Bruh, our school was on 49th Street.
We was in Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah, our school was on Hell's Kitchen. We used to meet, D-Sap used to meet in Hell's Kitchen. You know, we used to hold court over there, but it's like,
Park West.
Right, Park West across the street.
I did summer school and summer night school in Park
We used
West.
to meet up right at Park West and go to all the other high schools and terrorize guys. That was a really bad time, though. You know what I'm saying? And we was victims. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's not.
Who was victims?
It's the guys. You know.
Slavery is a choice.
Who was victims? Because we was the victims.
You chose to be a victim.
Back then, back then it was but back then it was really war.
You could have walked away.
You
from
had
that.
niggas that used
that was
to jump.
amazing.
You had niggas that literally used to jump out of trees with hatchets
No, but
in
it
their
was
hand. Hatchets, hammers.
yeah, everything. Yeah,
screwdrivers.
But it was
It wasn't a lot of gunplay then.
Yeah.
Because niggas had these.
just about beating people up and terrorizing back then. But it was bad. It was bad, and the kids were experiencing hurt that. It would be 100 guys experiencing a lot of hurt and pain that, you know.
They're just
Yeah,
expressing
exactly.
Guys
You know what I'm saying?
became
It was,
family.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
It was
real.
sad
No, that's
thing, you know?
totally,
you
yeah.
know.
That's real, but
No,
you know,
no.
like any like you gotta think about the culture. Like you gotta think about like any culture, any civilization. You wanna raise the men to be strong. You wanna raise the women to be prowess. You want everybody to be able to play a position of strength in their space. How do you teach that, knowing that you never learned that? If you were stripped from your land and the language is taken from you. And everything, see what I'm saying? We know that. We like, yo, my mom was like, yo, hey, my
That
boy
shit
from
sound like it was shots about to be fired. Get out of the way, get out of the way, get out.
We learn
threat, or there would be.
we learn how to adapt the way of the land and to survive and to teach our loins in the best way. I think we've been doing a kind of a decent job. We've been getting hit from left to right. We've been bouncing back from crack, from dope, to all this, from meth, to all of these things. And then we like, yo, even in there, you wind up getting some scholars. You wind up getting like cats that are able to go like my father never met his father. You know what I mean? But he was able to raise me. I'm fucking great. You know what I'm saying? He did a fucking awesome job. Like, I can tell you about the details of my upbringing. That shit is not gonna be that pretty. Yeah, I'm supposed to be killing everybody in this barbershop right now. You know what I'm saying? Technically, you know, I grew up. But like, I don't know, for some reason here, bang, we can kick it.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, wow, it's like, all right, that's magnificent to me. It's just like showing what we are capable to our resilience and going like, all right, we learned these crazy things. Like I remember going to Chicago and going to buy Cabrini Greens and going, wow.
Yeah.
Before
It was
loaded them shit.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, wow, yo, that shit gotta be like crazy. I wanted to go in there. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, they didn't have real roads.
We went in there, but
They
it was like,
didn't have real roads
was
leading
like,
up to the
yo.
buildings.
Yeah, nah, but
It was
we
like
went
rocks
in
and shit,
Cabrini
bro.
Green before they imploded them
Yeah,
shit.
nah, I went out there. I was young, but I went out there.
Bro, we
Everybody
was
looked like Method Man.
fascinated. We was like, yo,
Half the
green.
joint out. It's crazy.
We was
But,
shopping on the air. We like, yo,
I
bro.
think
we
what's the beautiful lesson of that is what we went through and where we at now. We're able to go to like Crossroads. We're able to go to Rikers Island.
Words,
We're able to
man.
go to
See,
hospitals.
that part.
We're able to stand up in front of on stages without performing hip hop and just talk to people who've been through anything in their life.
Right.
When you talk certain dialect to anybody, the way you project it, they're gonna feel you, whatever it is.
Right.
It don't matter what the subject matter happens to be.
Right.
Once you start talking to them, the pain, the happiness, the love, the joy is gonna be there because they're gonna they're gonna relate to it. Because as a human being, we're formed, as we were saying earlier, in the
Image of God.
Right, and the image of
And those are
Allah,
the base
the
elements.
Most High, right?
Yeah.
So when you look up to that, for me being Muslim, I pray 5 times a day. I might not be perfect on my deen 100%, but Allah knows my heart.
You perfect to me,
He's the perfect
PNC.
client. You perfect.
Talk your shit, my boy.
So that's what it
Change
is.
the thing.
Like, again, not to go back, but death reminds us of why we're still here
Right.
and having time.
Mortality.
I lost I lost 4 family members in this year alone.
Damn, nigga.
My dad,
My condolences.
2 of my brothers, get
Likewise.
that,
God
my
bless.
sister, and my bestie.
That's crazy.
So is like to be here is a blessing. Like even for me not to like to do interviews or whatever, because I'd rather give you what my shit is in the music, because that's my gift from my Lord. So from my gift from him is to give back to y'all and give y'all the teaching. I'm just a vessel in this shit.
Right.
But me, I don't talk a lot. I let him do it.
You're doing a lot of talking right now.
I know, that's why I'm
We appreciate it.
We here. We here with that part.
That's why I'm a big quiet.
I love it. That means I'm getting something nobody else getting.
That's real.
You should have said that. He was rolling. You should have said that.
The legends that y'all are, we haven't heard from y'all like that. That's why
I love
I
it,
think
nigga.
saying
I
that.
love it, nigga.
If it's up to me,
I'm a fan, nigga, so I'm
if it's up to me,
Y'all been
you will.
legends y'all been legends for a long time. We want to hear y'all
But the
talk.
great reverend,
But now that is a blessing to be able to do those things. Knowing what you came from.
Facts.
Knowing what you've achieved.
And survive.
Knowing that you're an inspiration to people who felt like they couldn't do anything else but what we were
I
doing.
got a commercial break though, right?
Yeah.
So when I look at like when an artist goes, you know, like I was looking at BET the other day, right? Can I say BET on this
Yeah,
show?
you can say
I can
BET.
say that. You're gonna cross that out. All right.
Unless you're about to say.
Yo, BET's everything up.
Listen.
No, I'm
We
just
good.
thinking,
We
like,
good.
all right. No, I was
Yeah.
because I was watching the thing. I'm like, yo, I'm trying to learn about the culture, right? Like, what's going on? What's popping? And
I'm
like,
trying to learn about the culture.
yeah. I'm just saying, it's just shifting. Things are happening. Like when people ask me, like, did you see the thing? I want to be able to say, yeah, I saw the thing.
Right.
And not be lying, you know what
Nah,
I mean?
I got
Like,
you.
yo,
I
you saw
got
it?
you.
I'm like, nah, I ain't. Yo, I saw it, but nah, I ain't watched the whole.
I got
I watched
you.
it, fam. What
So
you
now you gotta backtrack.
You understand? I
got
got, you
you.
know what I mean? So, but I left the room, and then I heard, I think it was Dad Prez, boom. I was like, yo, the family on there. I was
Oh, you
like,
talking about the awards?
Yeah. Then I heard, MOP, and I heard, I was like, they playing all these. So I just thought, I left the room, 'cause I didn't know it was a specific thing. I left the room, I was like, they playing the groups. All right, then they playing the groups.
That was
So
the loud tribute.
I didn't know that at first.
Oh, okay, I got
I
it.
just thought they was playing like groups. So
Right.
I was like, wait a minute. All right, you know what I mean?
I'm not trying to be
Black
disrespectful
Moon.
or put my shit up.
Somebody-
No, we're kind of admiring the
I'm just trying
relationship
to hold
that
his
you guys
cheer
have.
down.
Like, it's cool.
Nah, this, come on.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, it's like brother shit. Yeah.
And I say that to say this. My dad used to always say that. I say that to say this. Sometimes as an artist, we've been in the game for 25 plus. And I watch how hip hop is documented. And a lot of times we are left out. A lot of times the boot camp clique is left out. You know what I mean? Jadakiss like his top, Wu-Tang, that's my top 5. Like, and that's one of my top 5s. You know what I'm saying? Like groups. Then I'm like the boot camp. Then I have to analyze what that is. Like every individual wants to be in their greatest space. And it's like, all right, you dealing with the industry, you're dealing with your inner demons and all these things. But it's like, all right, what is the ultimate version of an artist, right? We look at this person who is supposed to be perfect. Like, I don't want to rate Kanye either. But at the same time, it is a destructive nature when you have access to certain things and you can utilize them for doing other things. Don't build a school and shut it down. Let's just start there. We don't do that. Whatever the mentality is where you think that people have this power over you and we're dealing with it in the capitalistic version, they won.
Yeah.
That's any black man that has
Mysterious
succeeded.
day.
Any black man has succeeded here, of course. The illustrious individuals who don't have to be in the public. There are people who have. If you're a billionaire, shut the fuck up. How about that? What is the kid that's in that's eating his cereal trying to get Jay-Z's spot? What is he thinking about? Yo, I'm gonna get a billionaire, then I'm gonna get a trillionaire, then I'm gonna get a quadrillionaire, then I'm gonna become this, and I'm gonna get this. Now my head gonna go pop. Sorry.
You got me out. I'm waiting to see it.
Right. And then we have this version. I'm gonna just shift the conversation a bit because then we got the activists, right? Where you have some that's from the hood, renowned, and then some that's on up and coming, and then we go, okay, and I shift the dialogue to the ones who can actually help the culture, or help Black and Latino people, or help impoverished people through entertainment.
Right.
We don't trust them people. We don't believe in them. They have lost our trust. They have taken money into the we have already adhered to this slavery mentality. And until we're able to break that, I think that each, like Pac tried to do it, Biggie tried to do it, you know. A lot of other individuals try to do it. I think it's still some individuals that's doing it right now, but we don't give them the light. Kanye did something that was very daring. He put his whole shit on the line.
Right.
And I don't know to what ends, because, okay, what did he prove? He proved the point that we could be shut down, right?
Actually,
He proved the point he can't be canceled. As
Well,
They trying to cancel.
culture canceled.
they're trying.
Cancel culture.
They're trying, but
what are you
who are we-
talking about now? Like, what is your point? Like,
Do
right
we
now,
side with Adidas? Do we side with the corporations?
We
I'm
side
siding
with
with my
side with
brother.
Isha Law.
You know what nobody ever said?
Siding with my brother.
When I watched that interview, right, with Kanye talking to Nori, in the beginning when he was still, because remember, he got twisted on that show, started talking crazy.
Yeah.
When he was still sober talking, the first thing I said,
That's
I
the
was like,
first or the second one?
nah, that's that last interview
The
where
newest
they
one.
said it's
Alright,
anti-Semitic and
right.
all that other shit. That's when he got twisted, in my opinion.
Right.
In the beginning, when he was still sober, I said, this is the first Black man that ever attested or went against any Jewish anything
Give out
ever
the secret.
in the public.
Right.
I was like, oh, this nigga got some balls. I
don't
said,
think
ain't
he's the
nobody.
first.
I said,
I don't think
first
he's the
of all,
first.
the first I noticed.
Yeah.
Like in on that
He's
platform
definitely
with
not
that
the
much to
first.
lose.
Yeah.
Think about it, you a billionaire, nigga. You got shit to protect.
Right.
You talking all the Jewish shit, but you do business with Jews like everybody else
hip-hop,
every day.
yeah.
But
You the
the-
first Black that I've
right,
ever
right.
seen have the balls to even speak up that way, regardless of what anybody feels anywhere. Like I was like, oh, you
So
you
do
a
we
ballsy
bad
nigga.
mouth him for that?
No, I
You
know.
can't, in my opinion.
I'm thinking
that's bravery. That's the first sign of
right.
bravery I ever really seen from him in that type of respect. That's one of them George Bush don't like black
Michael
people.
Jackson.
In the beginning of his shit, he got drunk and started talking crazy.
Look.
It got disrespectful. I was like, all right,
His
whatever.
bottom
fuck.
lip is all the way over there. Look.
Like, you
I
ain't
got-
feeling
I
it.
got-
I'm just saying. I was like, that's ballsy. He was still sober. Fuck all that off your mad shit. And another thing too, after I watched that interview, I was smoking. I got sober. I said, you know what? Let me see if he was on the same type of time in other interviews. I went back to the old interview he did with Charlamagne got in his ass. He was spitting the same type of rhetoric. He had the same exact interview. He repeated the same things 10 years later. He really talking how he feels, son. I'm like, oh shit.
Right.
No,
Watch that whole interview.
No,
He believes
pay attention.
everything he's saying. That he been saying that shit for 10 years. I was like, wow. This
If
this
you listen
interview
to the
was
lyrics
2013.
to All Falls Down,
I remember all the bars that I ain't gonna hold you.
even if you still a nigga
Still a
in the
nigga
coop.
in the coop.
Oh, right. He believes
That's
that shit, bro.
every day.
He's still a Chicago
That's
nigga. But even though he might
all
have
of
the
us.
Candace
Yeah.
Owens and the red hat, whatever the fuck, he believes what he's saying.
And I think, I mean, if we switch it back over to the Kanye situation,
And we ain't gotta stay in that too long. I got more questions for y'all niggas, good ones. I want to
Real-
hear like the
real
big
shit.
Nah, but
If
that's
you-
not
if you
even.
look
No,
at
that's
Kanye,
not. That's not even the.
he-
It's not even
he-
about Kanye, man. You got to think about like. You got to think about. You talking about
Kanye.
Chicago. You talking about. You got to think about all the revolutionaries
Right.
that coming out of Chicago. Like you got to
That's
think
a
about.
revolutionary.
El
But
Rookie, you
but
gotta
this is
think
what
about,
I'm
like,
saying. The
Right.
lifestyle.
Jeff Fort. You got to talk about these guys who had to
Food
change.
for everything. That's right now.
You got to
Right,
think about
right,
these
right.
guys who had to change from being this way to change their dialogue to be a certain way, because when we playing this game, we need certain things. Like we getting it from where we getting it from. We not getting all your money is coming from the government. All you cats are getting paid from
Not necessarily government, but you know.
well, point yourself. That's incorrect. Not the government. But if you're a basketball player, or if you're an artist, if you
getting
work,
legal money.
if you work,
How's
if you
it
getting
going?
legal
Right.
money, you're
Right.
getting paid from.
But that's
this
what I'm
thing.
saying to
Corporation.
highlight it.
So
Right.
it's not
Like,
like it's
we're
not like
looking
some
at-
black man is going, hey, I'm gonna pay everybody that go to work today. Hey, you went to work today? Hey,
Right.
Graf, you went to work? Cause let me get, yo, Graf, baby, come on over here, bring the suitcase. Hey, Tek, you went to work? You went to
Yes, sir,
deliver?
boss.
Hey, you gonna get the, it ain't you.
It ain't that.
The system is like, okay, how do we not coexist in the system? How do we get the system out of here? Like, we want to, if we want our own system, if we want a Black Wall Street,
We gotta create it.
Again.
let's create it.
Again.
Let's
Don't
create
get
it.
out of this one. This is
Because
what it
the
is.
first one was bombed
Right.
with nuclear shit.
Right.
So
Hate.
if we want it again, hate, but that it's all spewed from racism.
Facts.
If they don't look at us as an equal, then we have to build our own to compete
That's it.
with
You
it.
have to.
I think he wanted
but-
to be
but-
independent.
But again, building your own, you gotta understand where that comes with. And the reason I was still talking about Kanye, because you're looking at somebody who's from all walks of life. He's traveled in many different circles and seen a lot. So when he talks, I listen and I try to decipher. Okay, what's bug
Right.
out shit?
You
what's
have
not.
to weed it out.
You have to listen, but you have
You
to
have
listen though,
to
like, 'cause,
yeah, you have to.
you know, you gotta
Yeah, he be all over
respect
the
that
place.
he's been in a lot of these circles. You know what I'm saying? He's been in Chicago, you know, with the gangs and this, that, and then he's been in the White House talking President Trump. Like, you don't get there by being
Ignorant.
ignorant.
Fact.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying? Or a mutt.
I would
You
say
dig what I'm saying?
son he's a visionary, right?
I agree.
He does dickhead shit. A lot of dickhead shit. But at the same time, he's our brother. And we have to make dua for him. Some of the shit he says is off the hook, left in. But he told us, yo, I'm not right all the time.
Right.
When he takes his meds, we don't know. When he don't, we don't know.
Oh, I think we can tell when he don't.
not really, because that's the
That
big